Hi guys, this is Taylor and I'm here today to talk about some of my favorite fall reads. Also, I just want to apologize for the kind of gap in videos. The siding on our house is being repainted and that takes up almost all of the daytime hours and is surprisingly noisy. Also, it's like really cold. But anyway, now these books do not necessarily take place in fall, but they do elicit the feelings that we all know and love about fall, like the crispness and the deadness. The first book I want to talk about has to be the most mentioned book when it comes to these types of lists here on BookTube. It's Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. If you have escaped this book, it is a fictionalized account of the last execution to take place in Iceland in the late 1800s. This is atmospheric and dark and dreary and beautifully written. This book also put the fear of death in me, which is always what I want books to do. I had literal indigestion reading the ending of this, but it was worth it. Also, I have the beautiful UK edition, which smells faintly of eggs. Beautiful and dark and evocative. The next book I want to talk about is Thirsty by M.T. Anderson. M.T. Anderson is my favorite YA author because what he does so well. This is, for all intents and purposes, a vampire YA novel, but it's not what you're thinking. This isn't dark and romantic and angsty. This is light and so funny with a streak of visceral horror. I asked a friend who has read it to describe it because it can be kind of hard to put into words, and she said it has chilling world building that only gives you glimpses of a genuinely foreign universe. I'm just gonna leave that one there. The next book I want to talk about is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is obviously a classic, and while I didn't love it, I did love the first part. Something that a lot of folks don't know about this is that it's actually an epistolary novel. So it's composed of letters and diary entries and newspaper articles, which is pretty cool for a classic. I read this last year during fall and it was so much fun to read around Halloween. If you're in the mood for something surprisingly gripping and spooky, at least in the beginning, and you can stand maybe one too many monologues on the nature of humanity, then I would totally recommend it. Something is telling me to include a George Saunders collection, and I'm stuck between the 10th of December and Pastoralia. I'm leaning towards 10th of December, even though, for the record, Pastoralia is my favorite short story collection of all time. I don't think any of these really take place during fall, but there's something about the nature of George Saunders' stories that is just so nicely unsettling. He's another one, I don't really know how to describe what he does exactly. I guess most of his short stories exist just outside of the realm of reality, so sometimes they almost feel normal, but they're really not. And lastly, I thought I'd throw in some middle grade. Why not? This is The Power of Un by Nancy Etchemendy. This only has like 500 ratings on Goodreads, which is amazing because this was the talk of the class in like 4th grade. This is about a boy in maybe early middle school who is given a time machine and has to decide which events in his life are worth undoing. The reason I'm including this in here is that it takes place largely in and around a fall carnival, and it's a little mysterious and there are some twists and it's just a whole lot of fun. Honestly, just holding it makes me want to reread it again. So those are 5 of my favorite reads that I think really benefit from the fall atmosphere. As always, let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!